The South African Institute of Architects was established in 1927 and has been existing since then, undertaking its responsibility and obligations of advocating on behalf of architects. It is made up of professional architects and professional architectural firms who number more than 2,500. It is made up as well of 11 regions who are affiliated to the national office, which is the South African Institute of Architects. The South African Institute of Architects has realized, of course, that the pace of transformation within the profession has lagged behind over the years.
Transformation is one of the key issues that SAIA has to deal with. According to the Gini Index, we apparently have the biggest gap between the rich and the poor. We have one of the lowest number of architects per capita. That is the number of architects in total in relation to the population. One of the biggest problems we're dealing with is the fact that we have 80% white architects in total. Infrastructure is the single most biggest catalyst to the creation of work opportunities. So it therefore becomes important as SAIA to see how we close the gap between government and the professional bodies, SAIA being one of them. And it is important to ensure that we take advantage of the number of infrastructure projects that are created by government. Already the President has highlighted that infrastructure development is one of the key opportunities or the key factors that will create opportunities for us. And what I mean by that is starting to create exposure at elementary level, in a primary school, in high school and so on, so that architecture starts moving away from being an elitist profession traditionally known as a white male-dominated profession. How do we bridge the gap between the disparity between white and black architects? And we've got a transformation committee that will look into policy issues, the legislation that is in place. Because there is legislation, for instance, triple PFA, that has very good intentions, but if you look at some of its implications, it works against what transformation is all about.
The Open Architecture program was initiated by the South African Institute of Architects as an alternative augmentation to the current full-time only study route that is provided at the moment. It forms part of SAIA's transformation agenda in terms of skills development. Current statistics indicate that the bulk of previously disadvantaged individuals are registered in the categories of draftsperson, technologist and senior architectural technologist. So Open Architecture is provided through an existing architectural learning site, and the first institution to partner with Open Architecture is the Cape Peninsula University of Technology. The program is delivered through a number of different facilities. There's work-based learning, on-campus blocks, and then there's a web-based platform where the online learning takes place in the form of online communication and also online crits. There are two main aspects to the Open Architecture program, and the first is academic, and that obviously means that we have to comply with the requirements of the institution in terms of admission requirements. The second important component to this is the architectural profession. The Open Architecture students are required to be working full-time in an architectural practice, and the practice is required to support the students through their part-time study. The challenge for the students really is balancing work, studies and social commitments. Successful students are really the ones that get the most support from the architectural practices that they work in. And we believe that in the long run this is a benefit to the office in getting more highly qualified employees, and also to the profession as a whole in terms of transformation.
The South African Institute of Architects, having realized this slow pace of development in the transformation area, has launched an SAIA Future Architects Bursary program, which is meant to stimulate and increase the number of professional architects that are coming into the profession. And we are very glad to indicate that we do have a number of partners who have joined us coming on board, realizing the importance that they need to play, even a moral obligation, by the way, to ensure that they can support this program by reaping back part of their rewards from the profession in supporting the transformation of the profession overall. What is very critical is that we need more partners to partner us as we embark on this journey, which is meant, number one, to ensure that we've got sufficient numbers of architects within the profession. We have the demographics that reflect the country's demographics, and we have the personnel that support the huge government-built program that is meant to ensure that our economy is stimulated through this built program.